Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar! You liar!
Oh, we've got liars galore, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I'm back for the afternoon monologue, and then you guys, you've got your inner circle Q&A with me. Here we are. I'm 100% recovered, on the ball, completely dry, on the wagon. What on the wagon, folks? We've got liars, and the lies are coming out our ears. Let's start with this. Remember Scarf Woman during the Cerveza bug lockdown? That's right, Dr. Birx. Well, she has returned, and it seems like she and little Dr. Fauci, little Dr. Doom himself, now they're at odds again. Are you believing this? Or is it going to be a back and forth, bad cop, worst cop line of shit? Here's what Scarf Woman says. And I think the reason they do this is they go, they say something we want to hear, and we're like, yay, Dr. Birx. Yay, Scarf Woman. And then when she changes her mind, we're still supposed to go, well, I believed her before, but I'm not going to believe her now. It really is just what you want to hear. What I want to hear is freedom and liberty, and everything else can suck it. So, Scarf Woman says this. Here's a quote. We need to actually empower people with the information they need for themselves and their families, because every family is different. And by the way, outside is safe and playgrounds are safe. I can't believe the government does not empower you, folks. All the government can do is unpower you, enslave you, take away your rights, interfere with your rights, screw with your rights, obstruct your rights. Government cannot empower you. There's no way Dr. Birx can empower us. Dr. Fauci can't. Joe Biden can't. All they can do is lock us up and throw us in jail. That's all government is empowered to do if you have committed a crime. Otherwise, no need. Every family's different. Yeah, no shit, every family's different. Some families like to be lied to. Others don't. Some families like freedom. Others don't. There's your difference, lady. And by the way, outside is safe. Inside is safe. Playgrounds are safe. Playgrounds are safe. Playgrounds? You mean Congress can go out to the playground for recess? How about airplanes are safe? Cars are safe. Good golly. And here's another one. I don't need to wear a mask. If masks work, then those who want to wear a mask, their mask will protect them. Now, we're afraid of your germs getting out, and a mask works. Well, if a mask works, it'll stop my germs. Well, a mask won't stop too many, so we can't have too much leaking. Well, if my mask leaks and I'm standing around 20 more people whose masks are leaking, then everybody's now exposed to everybody. Why even bother wearing a mask? Because it's bullshit, folks. It's bullshit. I tell you what, if it takes 2 masks to stop Cerveza bug, then people who have a problem with Cerveza bug, they can wear 2 masks and I'll wear none. It's ridiculous. This entire fight is coming, folks. It's coming. Now, speaking of fights, speaking of liars, speaking of politicians, guess what? Guess what? Zelensky from Ukraine is now attempting and pushing and driving for World War III, more direct fighting, not just between him and Russia, but he wants to drag in Romania, Poland, all of NATO, which includes the United States. So, do you remember when Ukraine launched a missile and it flew into Poland? And they tried blaming Russia. They tried invoking Article 5 from NATO, meaning if any NATO ally is attacked, then it's as if everyone was attacked and they all have to come to the rescue. So, remember that? So on Monday, very similar to a very similar to a Ukrainian missile flying into Poland, something flew into Romania. And Ukraine jumped up and started screaming and yelling that everyone needs to go attack Russia. Article 5. Drag everyone else into a boots on the ground shooting war, Russia. Right? Ukrainian Foreign Ministry Oleg Nikolenko said in a public written statement that Russia sent a suicide drone into Romanian territory. If you remember, Ukraine and its defense department, its defense people, its super smart people found a dildo, used condoms, and human bones, and said it was a concentration camp where the people were being sexually abused by Russians. Literally, folks, that's what they claimed. So Nikolenko, the idiot, continued with this quote. This is yet another confirmation that Russia's missile terror poses a huge threat not only to Ukraine's security, but also to the security of neighboring countries, including NATO member states. We urge partners to accelerate the provision of Ukraine with additional modern anti-missile and anti-air defense systems, as well as combat aviation, which will strengthen the protection of Ukraine's infrastructure and neighboring countries. Yeah. What he's doing is he's trying to get the United States and possibly other NATO members to give them missiles, anti-aircraft missiles, airplanes, helicopters, more war toys. That's what this is exactly. But NATO member Romania, who is said to be attacked by Russia, jumps up and says, bullshit. Romania says the Ministry of National Defense categorically denies information from the public space regarding a so-called situation that occurred during the night of September 3rd to 4th, in which Russian drones allegedly fell in the national territory of Romania. Not Russian drones hit government buildings and blew up and killed people. It's the drones fell on the national territory of Romania. How dare you drop one of your pieces of military hardware in our country? We're going to go to war because a piece of steel and fiberglass or titanium landed on our dirt. Folks, Zelensky is intentionally trying to start a direct war, not a special military operation. And he wants to drag NATO, which means us, into their bullshit with Russia and Biden's bullshit too, over genocidal Nazi activities in the formerly Eastern Ukraine that was caused by Zelensky's Nazis. Yes, folks. Yes, America. This is how wars are started. This is how world wars are started. Every evil, lying fucker wants to kill and blame others and then demand we all go to war over it. So screw Zelensky, the little puppet who blew. Folks, and it continues. It does not end there. It doesn't end there. The fight we have, the SHTF we have, is worldwide at every single level. Are you prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense? Go to thepreparedmind.club. There we are. Go there and get what you need. We're not a store. We're not a warehouse. We're not a delivery system. You can go there, click a link, and get the stuff you need. You need food, you click it, you go there. You need radio, you go there. You need water filtration, you go there. Whatever you need, you click it and go there. That's all we're doing, is supplying you with a path to get what you need to be prepared. Good God, how many times do we need to say it? Not to you guys. I know you guys all know. But share the links, folks. Hit the thumbs up. Do whatever it takes to get this video out there. Internet address right up there. Now, while we're on Ukraine, I want you to understand how badly they're being murdered. Now, since their counteroffensive, early June, July, August, early September. So if we start with early June, early July, early August, early September, that's where we're at. In 3 months, Ukraine has had more than 66,000 troops killed. The U.S. lost that many folks in 10 years of the Vietnam. They've lost the same amount in 3 fucking months. They've lost over 7,600 heavy weapons, meaning tanks, armored personnel carriers, guns, howitzers, since their early offensive. Now, this is claimed by Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. I believe him over the Ukrainian idiot, his Ukrainian idiot counterpart. Now, the Gateway Pundit reported similar figures that I just read to you. But here in the West, the mainstream media wants to play down. They want to play down this bloodbath, this meat-grinding monstrosity the Biden regime supports. That Zelensky is forcing young men and their families into this spring counteroffensive. There's no air. There's no artillery support. And these people, folks, have thrown over $115 billion and over 400,000 Ukrainian lives at Russia to be destroyed. Is it worth it? I don't think it's worth it, because what has Ukraine got from it? Nothing. What have the people got from it? Nothing. All the people who have gotten something out of this is who? Zelensky. He's gotten to keep his position of power by placating the United States, NATO, and England by doing what they say. He gets to stay in power. Zelensky has had 400,000 of his own people sent to their deaths to keep power. That's exactly what the problem is. Do you think our leaders in this country, or if you live in Australia or Canada or anywhere else, do you think they would send you and your kids to their death to keep their power? You bet your ass they will, especially if they can justify it. They can put on a good story and say, oh, yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, you got to look at what we're doing here. These people, folks, these people at every level, government fucks the people over. I'm going to take you to Hawaii now, folks. People living there are desperate, and they're being royally screwed, folks, royally. And this is I've got a Gateway Pundit article here. Just what the fuck is going on? Here's what Gateway Pundit wrote. Nearly a month after the catastrophic wildfires devastated the Hawaiian paradise of Maui, a disturbing mystery remains as hundreds of people, including an unknown number of children, are still missing. There you have it, folks. The latest figure coming from the government says 385 people are still missing. Where in the hell could they be? Maui isn't that big, folks. And not everyone can go survive in the jungle and hide in the rainforests. If they were in any other part of Maui, they would hear that they're being looked for and return. Right? Just past Lahaina is Kaanapali, and just one more town, and that's it. Go the other way, you go south of Lahaina, and you get to Kihei and Wailea. You go north from there, and you get to Kahalui, and you would have to go all the way around the volcano to get to Hana. And that's it for towns. I won't even call them cities. They're freaking towns. There's no place to hide. There's no place to be. Where are these people? Why are they missing? It's just incredible, folks. Government will kill you. Government will destroy you. You bet. Here's a good one, folks. It's not just in Hawaii. It's not just in Ukraine. Oh, by the way, don't forget, get your information, question, comment, thought, what's on your mind down below. If you're part of the preparedmind.club and you're here live, you get to ask questions and we get to converse because you're part of the inner circle. Same if you're on subscribestar.com. Now, they will screw you overseas. They'll screw you in Europe. They'll even screw us on the mainland. Are you aware that in Texas, the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, has been impeached by the Assembly there? That's right, folks. Democrats and Rhino Republicans are trying to say he's committed bribery and bad stuff has happened because he accused one of their members of being drunk while on the floor of their Capitol doing business. So they've gone after him. And now the Senate has the impeachment referral, and they're going to have a trial. That's right, folks. The Assembly impeached Paxton. Now the Senate is going to try him. And that is actually how impeachments work. But wait, there's more. There's a lot more to this. They've been investigating, folks, Paxton. And this is what his lawyer, Tony Busby, said last month. He said, there's a quote, "One of the most successful trial lawyers in the country released a statement as stated in support of motion to dismiss Articles 9 and 10. Here's this statement. After an investigation spanning 5 months in both Texas House of Representatives and the Texas Senate, interviewing over a dozen witnesses and reviewing almost 300,000 pages of documents, and 2 special prosecutors who were handed a blank check at taxpayers' expense to find Ken Paxton's bribe, can't locate one because it never happened. In other words, if there was a shred of evidence about Ken Paxton bribing someone, they'd have it." So the attorney continues, "To be clear, the most effective and most conservative state attorney general in the country has been out of office for almost 3 months while the impeachment managers and their phalanx of taxpayer-paid Biden and Democrat-connected help have searched for evidence of a bribe. But the House is now forced to admit that they cannot find it." Here we go again, folks. Here again is political impeachment of a Republican for pointing out Democrat corruption and immorality. It's not just Trump. They're going to go after state-level constitutionalists. They're going to go after local politicians for being moral and decent. Then, folks, they're going to come after us, you and me, using police and phony charges like fat-ass Fannie has tried to do to Trump. And it ain't over till the fat lady sings on this, folks. And the standard capacity magazines are once again filled and stored in a cool, dry place in a safe and await the next level of tyranny. But I think those magazines are going to have to be emptied. There's no other way to go through this. I'm not encouraging or inciting or glamorizing violence. It is the left who are calling for violence, literally calling for it. Now get this. They want to impeach Paxton with zero evidence, and they did. And now they want to try Paxton with zero evidence, and they're going to try him. And what are they going to convict him of with no evidence? An accusation is just an accusation without evidence, without facts. But we look at Joe Biden, where there is evidence. There is witness testimony, which corroborates written documentation, phone records, emails coming from multiple sources, including government sources like the Congressional Record, business associates. His own lips, Joe Biden has told us, his own political actions have shown us he is completely at fault. Afghanistan, Hunter Biden and his shenanigans, business dealings with China, Russia, Ukraine, and more. Tens of millions of dollars. Is that bribery if the money goes to Biden? Yeah, it's bribery. It's payoff. It's kickback. It's payola. But Ken Paxton hasn't done a damn thing that they can prove, yet they've impeached him and they're going to try and remove him. Are you ready for partisan conflict, at least, and civil war at most? This country is tearing itself apart. Even southern states like Texas are so full of scumbag, filthy, lying Democrats that this is where they're leading us. Are you prepared? Does this sound like, it's just government, John? It's just government, right? Is it? Well, James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, he has now subpoenaed the Secret Service. He's now subpoenaed Mr. Mayorkas, chief of the Department of Homeland Security, because he has been receiving more information about Hunter Biden and the interview, folks. And what I say to James Comer is don't threaten. I'm glad you just subpoenaed them. No threats. And if they don't show up, if they don't provide what's been subpoenaed, charge them with obstruction of justice, charge them with contempt, and have them arrested. Period. Enough of these fucking games. It's time to take action. If you're going to be a tiger, put your teeth in your mouth and start biting someone's ass. This is real evidence, whereas with Ken Paxton, not a bit. Republicans want to sit on their hands. It's because they're a bunch of sellouts, losers, whiners, and wimps. They need to grow a spine, gather up their loins, right, tuck them in, and go to work. There is no other way. There's nothing to wait for. You've already got it. Well, what the Democrats are afraid of is if Trump gets back in there, that he'll actually inspire people to take action. You bet. Inspire people to take action. So what's the response there? Jack Smith, who had his last case against Trump thrown out, federal special prosecutor under Attorney General Merrick Buttsniff Garland. He's set to indict Trump again. Yes, Jack Smith is back after getting thrown out once. Now he's back, and he wants to investigate fundraising and a breach of voting machines and blame Trump for it. There is, folks, no end to this madness. There's no end to the lawlessness of government, because there's no way we can hold them accountable short of getting out your boomsticks and going to work. Get out your smoke wagons and put them to work. That's right. Skin that smoke wagon and go to work, America, is what, well, Wyatt Earp might say. We're there, folks. We're there. It's just going to take things to go kaboom, kaput, have the system break down, die, and people like Jack Smith get out of hand. And someone's going to react, and it's coming. It truly is. Someone is coming. There's no end to the madness. There's no end to government lawlessness. We are back in 1775. That's precisely where we are at. 1775. Are you prepared for it? Are you ready for more? Oh, because I've got your back, folks. I've got your back. But who has yours? Who has your back? Well, I hope you don't live in a Democrat city. I hope you don't live in any bad city, especially a Democrat city. Here's an example of what happens in a Democrat city. This is the world they want for you. While they ignore us and enrich themselves and screw over any opposition, you and I are going to have to fend off thugs, criminal scumbags. Well, in Harlem, caught on video, folks, a tough guy takes a woman's own cane from her and then beat the shit out of her. 50 times he hit her, 50 times. A 2-minute beatdown with a cane. There's your Democrat world. There's your Democrat justice. I recommend not going to Harlem. I mean, literally, folks, I'm a big guy, 53. I would not like, not one bit, to be hit with a cane 50 times. I don't want to get hit once. Can you imagine an old woman? I'm using the word old to describe a 60-year-old woman. Is she young? Is that middle age? Does it fucking matter? This is what Democrats want, folks. Harlem, New York area, right? One of the worst assaults ever seen. Wow. Oh, by the way, yeah, it was in and around the subway system. Once again, subway system. You want to ride? You need to get somewhere? You want a good beating? You want to be raped? You want to be beaten, thrown on the tracks? Or just outright murdered with a gun? Show up in New York City and the 5 boroughs, and you're in good shape. Good golly, folks. The stupid, it has no limits. No limits. Even the rich people in this country, folks, are in for a ride. What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you the biggest, richest dude, Elon Musk. He has X, which was, Twitter. Kind of like, the artist formerly known as Prince. Just Prince. Okay. Well, Twitter, formerly known, or X, formerly known as Twitter, their owner, the owner of that, Elon Musk, controlling owner, He's going to ban the Anti-Defamation League. He's threatened them. He's threatened to take them off of X, saying he had no choice but to file a defamation lawsuit against the advocacy group, the Anti-Defamation League. Now, the ADL called for a pause on advertisement spending on X because they don't like Elon Musk. Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Mr. Musk. Boycotts are legal, and if the ADL wants to tell people not to go to X, wants to tell advertisers to stop, then they can. This is a big boy war, Elon. Get used to it and start relying on conservatives as your base. Or if you want to, you can be captive to socialist policy and whining. Now, if the Anti-Defamation League accused Elon Musk or X of being white supremacists, racists, okay, there's your lawsuit. But to be mad because they took away your funding by telling advertisers to go away, sounds like they should be able to say whatever they want. Just like I could say, don't shop at Dick's, don't shop at Amazon, don't shop at Walmart, don't shop at Target, don't shop at Kohl's, don't buy Nikes, don't buy Adidas, don't buy Coca-Cola. Because they support anti-white, anti-American. They are racist, they are socialists. So, yeah, crazy stuff, folks, crazy stuff. You want crazy? I'll give you crazy. It's almost like too much crazy Tuesday. And it is Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. I hope you get some tacos. Anyways, you want some more? Is this too much? A senator, United States Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. What a freaking name for this clown. And oh, by the way, he's a Democrat. He's a socialist POS. Sheldon Whitehouse goes to the Supreme Court and is asked Chief Justice Roberts, who, by the way, is a POS himself. He asked Justice Roberts, a supposed conservative, to investigate Supreme Court Justice Alito. What fuckery is this? A Democrat goes to the Supreme Court. A senator goes to the Supreme Court. I already see a breach of conflict, a breach of interests, a breach of fidelity, a breach of trust. The Senate is not supposed to talk to the Supreme Court. It's not in his purview. It's not in his job description. They have nothing to do with one another in that regard. They don't work together. Anyways, I guess they do, huh? So Senator Sheldon wants a conservative judge, supposed conservative judge, to investigate another conservative judge, Mr. Alito. When we know, folks, that a socialist justice at the Supreme Court is the one who is guilty of leaking the SCOTUS Supreme Court documents on Roe versus Wade. This is where we're at in this country. Separation of powers? Not so much, huh? The Supreme Court justices are supposed to be completely isolated from their legislative counterparts. Not in the world of Democrat fuckery. No, sir. Bob. Nuh-uh. Nope. Nope. And by the way, Whoopi Goldberg, Count Jabula, she's been juicinated 3 times. 3 times she's been juicinated and no, wait. I don't know how many times she's been juicinated and boosted. Not by a man, but the other kind, right? The Dr. Fauci boost. Well, she is now gone. She's off the air, off the View, because she's tested positive. She has cerveza bug for the 3rd time. Well, I think that if she's gotten jabbed and boosted, then she should go get 3 more boosters. Hey, if 1 is good, maybe Whoopi needs 3 because her ass is so big. This is more proof, folks, that Count Anthony Jabula is sucking the life out of his victims with his Jim Jones juice. Count Jabula, where's Mr. T at? I bet he could get us an intro or no. What are we needing more of now? Disclaimers. This is clearly a humorous, satirical show making fun of political boobery, because that's what these people are, a bunch of boobs. And I don't mean that in the term of a female woman's breast. Boob as in idiot. That kind of boob. Wow. Just freaking wow. And I want to hit this one. I can't leave this one behind either. Nope, I'm going to save it because it is now your guys' turn. You are the inner circle. Let's get to it. Inner circle time. Get your questions in down below. Bam. Here we are, Mr. Uman. So what does everyone think of the new microphone? Does it sound better? Is my voice clear, crisp? Like a fresh apple at the store. All right, Mr. Uman says, I think the ADL threatened to boycott X's advertisers if they did not stop advertising there. That would be stepping into the tortuous interference zone, wouldn't it? Tortuous interference. Interfering with another's business. Well, I would have to go to my law books, Mr. Uman. I'd have to go to the library. I would have to consult a few of the Prepared Mind legal team's minds. I know that it's not removing his business. Now, see, if someone went to YouTube and said, we don't like John, we want his channel erased, he's a racist, he's a liar, he's this, he's that, all these things, right? And they got my business destroyed. That's a tort, right? That's damage. If someone said to the advertisers, hey, you guys, you want to really advertise on John's channel? That's all that guy does is political satire. Would that be tortuous interference or just recommending that people not advertise here? I don't know, man. That's up to the attorneys. I see what you're saying. It's a great point. I get it. Nobody likes having their business affected by other people's opinions. Did they call for a boycott? Right. So if Trump said don't drink Coca-Cola because they said be less white, and Trump told all his supporters don't drink Coke anymore, would that be tortuous interference or a boycott based on political stuff? See, the stuff with Elon Musk is political, or at least they claim it is. I think everything's fucking politicized now. Great question. Great topic. You have a great point there, Mr. Uman. And I am not an attorney, not a lawyer, do not have a Juris Doctorate. So I can't say with any degree of certainty, but it's certainly, I'm going to call it a gray area. I do think Elon Musk should attack them, though. I want him to attack them. Find out, is this tortuous interference or not? Elon Musk is going to find out. I think what they were doing, though, is they were slandering him. I think they were saying he was racist. You know, Twitter is white supremacist. I think that may be a slander, but, you know, what the hell? Okay, well, here we are. Now we're in that room. Name Redacted showed up. Dang it, man. Now you get this back part of my head is going to be up all night long thinking about it. Fuck. All right, Name Redacted said, there is no way in my mind Ukraine could have fired enough munitions. THST, we are depleted. They are building something else. Well, what landed in Romania was a dud of a drone. I don't know how that's a terror attack. The terror attacks I see are Ukraine sending missiles, bombs, and artillery shells into civilian areas. Now, I agree with you, though. There's no way that Ukraine could have fired enough munitions. THST. What we do know is Ukraine is running out of bombs, missiles. They don't have missiles and air defense systems. They don't have it. What they did have, they've squandered and shot off. It's kind of like the way I'm looking at this is 4th of July, except maybe it's New Year's Eve. There we go. And on New Year's Eve, you light off all the fireworks you got because you're only allowed to do it once, New Year's Eve. Well, here we are, folks. Ukraine, you give them a pile of ammunition, bombs, and they'll set them off. And then they'll come back and demand some more. That's what they're doing. They're building something else. I think they're building a case. They really want to push this World War III concept. But Ukraine is inept, folks, unbelievably inept. If someone is going to cause World War III, it won't be Ukraine. It'll probably be the CIA. Told you so. The CIA told you so. They're the ones who probably have the means and the methodology, the players in place to try and pull it off. Well, they thought they would pull off a coup d'etat with Russia. They donated a lot of money to Prigozhin, if I remember the story correctly, and he made a move like he was heading up to Moscow, and he's like, no, fuck it, and he went off to Poland. Belarus, north of Poland, or northeast of Poland, whatever we got over there. You know, that area. Eastern Europe. Nobody knows where that is on the map even. Yeah, that's what they tried buying. That didn't work. So would it surprise us if, since that did not work, that now it's time to go for full-on World War III? It is quite possible. Okie dokie. Mikey G says the 9 generals he just fired recently bought luxury cars and mansions. Mikey's talking about the 9 generals, his military administration in Ukraine. He fired them, folks, because, well, they were committing corrupt actions. They were taking money that was supposed to be going into the military. They were taking money and lining their own pockets. Can you believe that? Buying luxury cars and mansions? Wasn't it Zelensky who's been going on vacations to Italy, staying in posh hotels and mansions that they've rented for themselves? Because he and his wife, they get pretty tired of sitting in Kiev, eating chicken Kiev. How appropriate of him to eat chicken while he sends, now 400,000 of his own countrymen to their death in the last year and a half? It's a lot of people that he sent to their death in the last year. 440,000, folks. That is 150,000 people every 6 months. That's more than twice every 6 months that the United States sent to Vietnam in total that perished. The son of a bitch has done and repeatedly done and shown that he can kill more people in 6 months than, well, the Chinese communists could kill all of us in 10 years. Yeah, you bet, folks. How many cars does shit-stained Zelensky have? How many cars does shit-heel Voldemort have? Don't forget, folks, he's an entertainer. Zelensky is an entertainer. He is not a military-trained, hardcore, militant, lifelong militant. He's nothing. He's an entertainer. He's a comedian. Hardly funny. He is a singer. He is a musician. Well, he knows how to dance on a pole in front of other homosexual men. That's Zelensky. A very small person. Very, very small. Paquito. That's what he is. So he fires generals. Why? Why does he have to fire generals? What a turd. Literally, what a turd. All right. I want to jump in here because there's a little story I wanted to touch on. And I think it should alarm us. Mr. Orlando sent me the hot headline today about United Airlines issuing a nationwide ground stop meaning all United Nations planes get to the ground and you don't take off till we say you can. Apparently, folks, there was a computer issue on every single United plane. And they've been updated, right? They've been fixed. Well, do they fly just 737 Supers by Boeing? Do they fly an entire fleet of different planes? 27, 37, 57, 67, 77. What does United have? Why did they have to ground every single plane? They fixed everything with what? How did they fix their planes? Did they have mechanics run out to the flight line with their wrenches and screwdrivers and fix everything? That's a head scratcher. Or could it have been, right? Something went haywire with the computer system that would have caused many of their planes to fall out of the sky, like a 737 super fleet crash. What I'm thinking is maybe a hacker or somebody put some ransomware in the system, put in some bad programming, and until they paid, they were told your planes are going to crash, and you don't know which one or which planes, one or more planes are going to crash unless you pay us our ransomware attack. To me, that's more plausible than every single United plane needs to stay on the ground, and then we're going to go fix them all. Every single one of those planes needs to be fixed. And then now all of a sudden they're all good to take off again. Just something I was thinking about. What's more plausible? I've seen an entire town, because I was in one, that was taken down by ransomware. City, county, large companies taken down with ransomware that got into the town. Interesting shit. All righty, let's do it. Ooh, man, who else we got out there? Who wants to talk? Who's got something to say? All right, it's better to burn out than fade away. We got Corey checking in. He said, got to be careful here, Corey. He says, if the Hawaiian people won't fight for their children or their livelihoods, what will they fight for? I hope they will stand up to the government. Now, the Hawaiian people, Corey, in my opinion, have the same problem we have. Government is a building. Where's the government? Well, it's the courthouse. It's city council. It's the state capitol. That's the government? No, those are just buildings. Who is the government? The government is not the police. The police are the police. The police are the hired guns and badges who work for the government. So who is the government? The government is the president, Congress. The government is the Senate, the Assembly. The government is city council. The government is judges. Judges are government. City council, state representatives. That's government. Mayor, governor, people are the government. So if you want to stop the problem, you don't stand up to a government building. You don't stand up to politicians because they hide. You have to go and find them. So when you want to find a deer, what do they call that? Hunting. When you want to find a rabbit or a squirrel or a duck, you hunt them. That's how you find them. So how do you find government? First off, you have to identify what is government. It is the people. The people who tell us what to do and then send the cops after us if we don't. Judges, mayors and governors, legislators and city councils. There's your three branches of government that you can get to and find the same way you would find a rabbit or a pig or a goat or a deer. And you have to, let's just say a pig, a feral hog is on your property and he's rooting about destroying your fruit trees, your grapes, your squashes and tomatoes. He's gotten into your chow that you're supposed to be feeding your chickens. This wild feral beast is destroying your stuff. How do you get rid of it? Do you go knock on the government's door and demand the government do something? Or do you take the feral beast, the thing that's causing the problem, and remove it? That's right. A coyote? What is a coyote, Corey? What is a coyote? It's a varmint. It's a menace. It's a nuisance, and they can be killed. It doesn't take any additional justification. Coyotes are dangerous. They'll eat people. They'll eat pets. They'll eat livestock. They destroy things. Feral hogs, once again, they're a nuisance. They destroy everything. What are politicians? What are judges? What are they? What are government executives? They're a nuisance. I am not recommending anyone go hunt them or hurt them. Find a way to remove them from office. The people of Hawaii, it's kind of hard to stand up to a building. Are they willing to go to their government officials, their official leaders? Now, Hawaiians, and I know a lot of Hawaiians, folks. There's Hawaiians here in the States. There's Hawaiians in Hawaii. They have a lot of warrior spirit in them still. There are a lot of families there that are still very connected to their tribal islander roots. If they want, if they find it within their hearts and their souls and their spirit, they'll do something. It's going to be quite interesting, folks. Quite interesting. I think the government should continue to fuck with the Hawaiian people. Hell, they started it. Why not finish it all together? Why not tell all the Hawaiians on Maui to leave Maui and go live on the other islands? Why not send them to Molokai and just say, hey, get out there, right? Why not? Why not just screw them over 100%, 120%, 150%? Why not just take everything from them, tell them they're not allowed to live there anymore? See how the Hawaiians like them after that. I tell you. Thank you, Corey. Mikey G says, I think the Hawaiian people have been red-pilled. I think a lot of them, Mikey, I agree with you, have not only been red-pilled, but black-pilled and then barbecue-pilled. And I'm not making light of it. They've been fucked over pretty good, but we all have. In Northern California, folks, up where I was at, just miles from where I lived, an entire city burned to the freaking ground. Not a couple of buildings, just like Lahaina, the entire city wiped off the face of the earth. And it's not a new city, it's an old city, just like Lahaina. A couple 100 years old, up in the mountains. Beautiful city called Greenville, California. Beautiful area. Burned to the fucking ground because the government refused to put out the fire. Gavin Newsom showed up, jumped out of his car, did a photo op picture, jumped back in his car before the people could get to his ass. What is he? He is the government. He is the one making decisions, saying yes when it suits him and no when it doesn't. It's not buildings, folks. It's not who sits in the buildings. It's who tells the other people what to do, and they have to do it. The legislatures, the judges, and the executives, governors and mayors. And if the police want to take you to jail, now you're dealing with prosecutors and judges. If they understand and they fear the people, and they should fear the people at this point, after we've seen what has happened to people like Zach Rail, Proud Boy, who's been given, 15 fucking years? How many other Proud Boys, how many other men and women have gone to jail because of these scumbags, because of these judges lying? Oh, yeah. A lot, folks, a lot. Thank you, Mikey G, very much for your opinion and your thoughts. Thank you, Corey, as well. Mr. Uman, where do we want to go next? Bioxo checks in. Hey, Bioxo, thanks a lot for supporting the channel, as always. And I want to thank everybody who have done PayPal, who have done Cash App and Venmo donations to the Prepared Mind channel to keep us going. Keep us going. You guys are doing it. You're doing a great job behind the scenes, guerrilla funding, everything. Bioxo says, a friend of mine who is a nurse in Rochester, New York, got an email over the weekend from her employer talking about mask mandates again. Oh, they're going to push it. They're going to push it. The question is, will employees tell their employers, no, you have no right to make me wear a mask? You are not doctors. The FDA are not doctors. Employers are not doctors. And then when you go to doctors, what have we learned? That masks do not stop. In fact, we even have, what was it, the CDC released documentation stating that N95 masks, when worn too long, represent a health risk to the wearer. How many times have you seen people wearing these fucking diapers on their face, rags, things that are called gaiters over their mouth for hour after hour after hour after hour, breathing hot, moist air into bacteria-rich clothing and then sucking their air through it, probably inhaling numerous amounts of bugs, disease, bacteria, junk. I hear you. Yeah, I'm hearing it. I'm getting information from up north in the New York area, New England. I'm getting information from, well, Southwest. I'm getting information from California, the upper Midwest. I'm getting information all over that they're starting to push their lockdowns. They're starting to push their rationing. They're starting to get people ready. They're starting to store supplies, hand sanitizer. People are starting to talk. Oh my God, I heard I know 3 people that have cerveza bug. We're going to trust the tests now? I'm not going to trust the science. Why would I? The science lied to me last time. Not trusting him. Not trusting him. Well, I don't trust the government. Fuck. The government, the FBI created 3,200 playing cards with January 6 protesters on it. That's right, folks, playing cards with American patriots on it. The same way the U.S. government created playing cards and put, Saddam Hussein and all of his people on cards. So they're treating American patriots, American citizens, American taxpayers, the same way they treated terrorists in Iraq. Pretty awful, huh? Now, these people in government, folks, they're awful. There was a Congressional Medal of Honor ceremony that was held today. And of course, the president is supposed to award this to somebody who has done something so incredible, to be a living recipient. You can also receive the Medal of Honor posthumously. Biden just left. He left the ceremony before they did the closing benediction. There's just no honor in this government, folks. There's no honor. They deserve to be thrown out of office. All right, let us continue. Mr. Uman, I know we've got some more going on here. Oh shit. Here we go. Uman says a 14-year-old Texas boy died suddenly after eating a Paki chip for a TikTok one-chip challenge, but the cause of death has not been officially announced. Uman, can you come on screen? Can you come on live? I got to ask you this question directly.
Yes, sir.
All right, what the hell is a Paki chip?
It's one of those tortilla chips that has all of the hot peppers and stuff built right into it, so you don't have to dip it in a salsa.
So it's like a flaming hot chip.
Yeah. So I guess the challenge is you eat that and to see how long you can go before drinking water or passing out or shitting yourself. I don't know.
Well, let's see. So has anyone ever died from eating a Paki chip before?
I have no idea. That's the first I've heard of it.
Now, what I do know is that if you get pepper spray or really hot stuff, it can cause an inflammation of sinuses, the throat. It can irritate the lungs and piss you off really good.
Well, I've heard some pretty crazy stories about people doing these one chip challenges. I heard from somebody that I know that they were at one of those salsa stores where you could get all the crazy hot salsas and varieties of salsa. And
Like the Angry Beaver salsa?
yeah, right. So anyway, there were some college kids in there, and they wanted to do that one chip challenge thing. So they did that, and he said the one kid ran out of there. Uh, he was laying on the street, on the sidewalk outside of the store, just crying. And one of the other kids literally shit himself right there on the spot. So I guess there are warnings on these chips, that the Paki is a specific brand, but I guess it does have warnings, health warnings on there. It's just,
You know what? I saw a little bag of these at a 7-Eleven this morning. And then there was this lady there talking about some boy died from that.
that must have been the story. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bag of Paki. Okay, gotcha. I was thinking like it was some kind of plastic tiddlywink or something, and he inhaled it, and I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that you could have some really, really bad reactions from that, and if something is that hot that it causes you to start crapping yourself and stuff, I could see how maybe it could be like a dehydration thing, just get you that way. I don't know.
We don't know how long after that he ate the Paki chip, huh?
Well, I guess the story I was reading just before the show said something about how he did it at school during the day, and then he went home, and him and his brother were gonna go back for basketball tryouts or something like that, and his brother found him dead.
Wow, it's a terrible tragedy. Makes me wonder. I don't know. I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
I don't find spicy food to be my friend.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, my mother-in-law and we used to have contests to see who could find the hottest salsa, and we tried to out hot each other that way and stuff. But
Yeah,
back then, I mean, what was it? The Jamaican peppers were like the hottest peppers you can get. Now the stuff they have out there with these ghost peppers and the reapers and all this other stuff, they're like 1,000 times hotter
yeah.
on that Scoville scale or whatever. So no, I have no interest in spicy food like that any longer.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that someone would have a some sort of pulmonary reaction, their lungs, just seizing up.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. Yeah, it just sounds awful.
Yeah.
Is there a conspiracy theory in here somewhere?
No, I heard that. I thought it was rather interesting. And, we've had these deaths attributed to TikTok a lot lately, it seems. So, all the stupid stuff going on there. So I thought I'd kind of throw that in there.
Well, you can die from drinking too much water.
Right.
You can
Causes your brain to swell.
Yeah, it can cause a toxic shock by drinking too much water.
Yep.
Not enough water, too much water, not enough this, too much of that.
Well, I say everything in moderation, right?
Everything in moderation, especially government.
Yeah, extreme moderation.
Yeah,
with some fasting once in a while.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah. So, I tell you.
That's all I know about that. So
cool. Well, we are now officially at the end of the show. My computer just blew up over here. Give me a second. Did something just change? Yep, there it is. Yep, there's the one chip challenge. TikTok, if it wasn't TikTok, it'd be something else.
Oh yeah, it's always been something.
I remember. Well, there was the ice bucket challenge before TikTok was even around, and they tried getting me to do that back in 2016 or 2017. And I told them no fucking way. I'm not doing it. Last thing I need to do is have a fucking heart attack because you shocked my system that hard. Not doing it.
Yep. I'm too old for that stuff.
Yeah. All right. But before we clear off here, do you think India actually landed a rocket on the moon, or do you think that they're now participating in a giant fake space conspiracy?
I don't know. I mean, I could see the arguments for both sides of it, but you know how if we can't figure out how to get back there, how the heck can they?
Okay. Yeah. Yep. They haven't sent a man there yet.
Yeah,
Uh, but if they can't figure out how to fix their country, how can they send a rocket to the moon?
yeah. I don't know.
I do know they're a nuclear superpower. They have nuclear weapons. They have nuclear power plants. They're not stupid, at least not the smartest amongst them.
No, they. I mean, they got a lot of very smart engineering types, and I could see that they can take their resources and misappropriate them into something like going to the moon as opposed to fixing their country and making things better for their people,
Yeah,
just like
that
we're
sounds.
doing.
So their government is right up there with everyone else's.
Yep.
There it is. All right, man. I'm going to check out for the day. I need to get some dinner. I need to go back to work. Not happy about, well, the work part. I'm happy about the dinner part. But I'm not happy about all the SHTF that's going on. I'm glad to be a prepper. I'm glad you're here, man. Thank you, everyone, for showing up.
Have a good night, folks.
Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi, Godspeed. I'll be back bright and early with Zero Dark 30. Why is it not turning off? It's still having trouble connecting. I wanted to end the fucking broadcast.